there guys, hope you're all well today. Camera's finally steady, still not a tripod, still waiting for it to arrive, but we found a way to balance it on a kind of shelf. So yeah, today's video is more for the people that are only now experiencing the Mandela effect, and for those that have experienced it, these are maybe questions that you've thought of as well. And the reason why I'm saying this is because there's a lot of, I guess, big YouTubers, if you call them that, that are only just discussing the Mandela effect now, which has its good and bad points. Bad points I'll start with first, that I'm not sure if they're necessarily representing the entirety, the magnitude of the Mandela effect to their audiences. The good thing to it is it's mass exposure, because these are people that have got millions of subscribers as opposed to hundreds or tens or a couple of thousand, which many Mandela affected YouTubers have. So that's a great thing, the exposure of it, and the fact that more people are understanding it, or at least taking a look into what it is. Now what I'm going to title this video is Mandela effect, what's the big deal? So this is for any, not necessarily naysayers, but any people that just don't get it, or don't get why people like myself, as I say, this has taken over my life. I've stopped doing many things at the moment, just temporarily, until I can kind of come to more of a conclusion as to what has fully caused this. Yeah, and for people that just don't get it, I've seen a lot of debunkers on there. I watch debunk videos as well. Again, I'm waiting for someone to debunk it, but for me, there's not been any solid debunking evidence. As I say, I know what I know. I know what I've seen. I know what I feel. But anyway, I'll get into it. I've actually got my pad here. So yeah, I'm trying to be more and more professional with each video. So the questions, just off the, well, not off the top of my head, because I've obviously written them down, but the questions this poses to me are fundamentally about our very existence, going back to how we were created. Again, I personally don't believe in the Big Bang evolution and whatnot. I believe in microevolution. Religion, this is a big one. So a lot of the affected things, if you'd call them that, do seem to be of a religious nature. Now it depends which way you look at this, whether is it someone trying to shun religion, i.e., let's just say, hypothetically, let's say it's the devil that's in control of this and he's trying to give religion a bad name, i.e. Christianity. I'm not sure if the Quran or any other religious scripture has changed. So does that mean that does that prove that the devil is real, that God is real? I don't know. These are just thoughts I've had. Going on the religious route as well. So I have seen ghosts before. I've previously mentioned that on a video. Not for a few years now. I've felt them and not really heard them as such, but felt them or actually visibly seen them before. So I have thought, what if ghosts aren't what we know as sort of paranormal ghosts, entities? What if they are just on another dimension, just like we are, but they are a kind of trapped frequency? For example, in the room I'm in now, there's probably Wi-Fi signals around me, cell signals for my mobile phone, my cell phone. There's probably all sorts of things going on in here that I just can't visibly see because my eyes won't allow me to see that. I guess they haven't evolved in such a manner to allow me to do that. And when I'm saying evolved, I mean microevolution, not evolution. Different subject altogether. So what if a ghost or a spirit or an entity, whatever you want to call them, what if that is someone that is literally as if you're changing a radio station? You know, when you change it and you might tune into a police broadcast, or you might tune into halfway between two radio stations. What if that is what a ghost is? Just a thought. Are we infinite? Do we, when we die in this reality, are we then kind of like a cat with 9 lives, I guess. Do we then go on to another reality? I don't know, do we come back as something else, like a reincarnation? Are we even real? I know that you can see me on this video now. I know that I can see other people. How do we know this isn't some advanced, again, I've touched on this in a previous video, an advanced simulation, or you've got Oculus Rift, for example. Yeah, I mean, for some people that might feel like a real experience when they're on a roller coaster on an Oculus Rift, but in reality, they're not going anywhere. And that's relatively new technology to us. So what if someone, I don't know, what if we have worn Oculus Rift goggles and but they're much more advanced, hundreds of years more advanced than what we have now, and we're in that kind of simulation now? What if? Um, what are we capable of? If So, I already believe the Mandela effect. I don't really care what anyone tries to debunk it or tries to say. I know what's real to me. What are we capable of? So I'm just waiting for that 100 billion% irrefutable proof where I think it will come, where it's mainstream to say about the Mandela effect, but it will probably be called something else. It's just that that's the term coined that everyone understands. Yeah, what are our capabilities? Have we been limited all along by what we've been taught in school, for example? You can't fly, you can't do this, you can't do that. So we're never going to think we can do that. As I say, there's always been odd little things happen where you've got, say, a grandma get a burst of adrenaline when she sees a child under a tractor or a car, and then she's able to pick it up. Again, that's adrenal gland, so that's something completely different. But just with regard to that as well, I once had an incident where I was lying in bed. It was pitch black in the bedroom. I had a nylon vest on. I peeled it off and a spark came off me. I actually saw a spark. So, yeah, that's why I've always believed more what Nikola Tesla is saying with regards to his way of thinking and with regards to energy and frequencies as opposed to everything being solid. What else have we got written here? Yeah, so another one with regard to that. So again, I've talked about this many a time. Thought manipulation. So you've got books like The Secret. Most self-help books, the general message in them is think positively. The universe works on a law of exchange. So whatever you put out, you get back. So if you're putting out positive energy, you're going to get something positive back to you. That's the general gist of most self-help books that I've ever read. And there seems to be something to it. So what if we can tune our minds to do something along those lines, but on an even higher plane now? Does this prove... So this is another one here. So does this prove that we are in a matrix of control? I.e., if this has been multiple dimensions all along, let's say that people really knew about this, but they restricted that information to us. Again, going back to teachings in school, you learn very limited subjects in reality to how you actually apply your mind when you finish school. Could that lend weight to it there? I personally believe there is a matrix of control and that it's a very false reality we live in. There's films like They Live, The Matrix. These films are, as I say, more like documentaries than films, I think. But again, that's my tinfoil conspiracy hat on there. Yeah, so would this change our way of thinking? I.e., as Tesla said, more frequencies and energy rather than everything being solid. How would this affect medicines? How would this affect new technologies moving forward? Will we be able to have sort of time warp devices where we now have to fly a plane 24 hours to get to the other side of the world? Maybe we can just walk through some sort of teleportation device and end up there in a split second. Who knows? Yeah, and will we, going back to what we're capable of, I wonder if, when we truly get to grips with this, if we could just shift universes at will. So again, maybe going back to the positive thought mantra, what if we are effectively accessing something from that universe and using it in our universe now? I'm thinking I want to be happy, I want to be rich, I want to have lots of women, whatever you're thinking, and then it manifests that way. I don't know. These are just thoughts I've had. And the last thought as well, again, we only know what we know through documented history. So this is just a complete thought. I know people have spoken about the pyramids, the Mayans, etc., etc. But have previous civilizations been capable of this? I.e., what a lot of people are saying, it is CERN that's doing this. I do believe CERN definitely have something to do with the grand scheme of things. Whether they are directly to do with this, could it just be perfect timing that CERN has used the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider, at the same time as another phenomena, a natural phenomena, a spiritual phenomena? I mean, the board is still open on that one. I don't think anyone conclusively knows exactly what's caused this. But again, if you are interested, in the description box, I'm going to put what I think has caused this. So it's a different video. It's not me talking in it. It's a video that I got from Google, which is revolving around Google and NASA. Again, judging by the research I've personally put into this, I mean, I've put in hours and hours and hours for this. I don't really have time to do music at the moment, which I love making music. But my mind is just so focused on this. Even when I try and go away from it, I end up back here. Yeah, so I'll put what I think it is in the description box. If any of you out there, any subscribers, any new people that haven't subscribed, that's just got into this video, that's just found it, let me know if anything I've said, if you've had the same thoughts, if you know an answer to any of the thoughts that I've had, that would be incredible. Any trolls, yeah, you can have your little say as well. What would life be like without keyboard warriors and trolls? But that's all from me, guys. Thanks again for listening. Those of you that have listened to the end, you're amazing. And yeah, thank you very much for your time. Cheers.